Another Tennessee death row inmate chooses the chair, and there may be more to come. David Earl Miller says he wants to die in the electric chair next week as legal challenges against lethal injection have failed. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb joins us tonight. And Jason, a Nashville attorney says those death row inmates are kind of caught in a catch-22. They just can't win.
That's right, Carrie. And of course, there are those who say convicted killers on death row shouldn't get to choose how they're executed. But that is the law of the land in Tennessee right now. And a Nashville attorney says the question now becomes, do those inmates have a shot at challenging how they die? David Earl Miller has decided to be the next Tennessee death row inmate to choose an electric chair execution instead of lethal injection. It will be only the second chair execution since 2007 in Tennessee, following one less than 4 weeks ago. This large sponge was put over his head, along with the helmet, the headpiece. Nashville attorney David Rabin says electrocutions may become more frequent because of concerns over the lethal injection chemicals used in Tennessee.
I think you're going to see more inmates doing this in the future.
Lethal injection has been described in legal filings from opponents as liquid fire and being burned alive from the inside. And Rabin says inmates may be choosing the chair because of what he calls a catch-22 the inmates are stuck with when they challenge lethal injections in Tennessee, a dilemma stemming from two different laws. This is a U.S. Supreme Court decision from 2015. It says if inmates challenge lethal injections, it's the inmate's job to prove there are known and available alternatives to how Tennessee carries them out. And all that is before even getting to the actual issue of whether the lethal injection chemicals physically torture them. No alternative chemical, and they lose in court, like Tennessee's death row inmates have this year. But then this state law says information about where the state gets its chemicals for lethal injection, information that may prove another alternative chemical exists, remains confidential, keeping inmates from information that may help them win in court.
Then when the inmates say, well, we can't prove it because the state won't give us the information, the courts say, well, that's okay. They don't necessarily have to. So you're creating this circular reasoning, this catch-22 the inmates can never satisfy.
With both state and federal courts upholding both laws, Rabin says it will be particularly difficult to challenge the state's main method of execution.
I don't necessarily agree with all of the reasoning, but I think at the end of the day, the legal challenges are at an end regarding lethal injection.
Which then, Rabin said, would lead to more situations like today with inmates choosing electrocution instead. Now, Rabin suggested a rather unorthodox solution to all this, to actually allow a video recording of a lethal injection execution in Tennessee for a doctor to analyze later in court to see if there's true evidence of torturous pain. Of course, that's not allowed right now. Carrie?
No, it's not. Thank you, Jason.